Gracias por escuchar REED-BBS.
REED-BBS, BBS. Jesse Bam Rodriguez, 19-0, 12 KOs, versus El Gallo, Juan Francisco Estrada, 44 wins, 3 losses, 28 KOs. This is slated for June 29th, Glendale, Arizona on DAZN. El Gallo, he slowly but surely built an impressive Hall of Fame caliber resume for himself. He lost to Chocolatito, Roman Gonzalez, 12 years ago, vying for the WBA 108-pound title. He then beat Brian Valoria for the unified flyweight title in his very next fight and made 5 defenses of that flyweight title, 4 of them by knockout. El Gallo Estrada then challenged Srisaket Sorungvisai. That's the professional name of Wasaksil Wangek. Srisaket Sorungvisai for the WBC Super Flyweight title. Won that same title. Now, Estrada lost that challenge to Sorungvisai, but he won that same title in a rematch with Sorungvisai and made 4 defenses of that title. So he made 5 defenses of the flyweight title, 4 defenses of the super flyweight title, and counting. One of those was against Carlos Cuadras. 2 of those title defenses was against 108-pound nemesis Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. In fact, all 3 of El Gallo's losses have been avenged. So, like Lennox Lewis, like Floyd Mayweather, like Rocky Marciano, like Joe Calzaghe, like Andre Ward, Juan Francisco Estrada has literally beaten every man he's ever faced. Every man he stepped in the ring with, he has defeated. Now, Estrada, he was flirting with the notion of moving up to 118 pounds, but a bout with Bam is the biggest money fight near Estrada's weight range. It's not going anywhere near fucking NaoyaInoue at 22. Next highest money option in and around those parameters, those weights, is Jesse Bam Rodriguez. Estrada, he'll be 34 by fight night, and he's campaigned at 115 pounds for nearly 8 years now, thus the flirtation with 118. And he's been inactive since December of 2022, compared to Bam Rodriguez, whose star is ascending undeniably and indubitably. Bam is 24 years of age. He's already a 2-weight world champion and firmly planted in any and all credible top 10 pound-for-pound arguments. Bam Rodriguez is the truth. The truth! Coming off a high-profile unification win at 112 versus Sonny Edwards, Showtime's Sonny Edwards. He's now moving on up like the Jeffersons to reclaim gold at 115. And like Canelo versus Jaime Munguia, Bam versus El Gallo, it will be sold as a Barrera Morales-esque Mexican rivalry. That's what we're hoping for here. Not that we'll get it. That's the hope. That'll be the premise that this will be sold on. And this is going to be one of those old school Olympic auditorium, Inglewood Forum type of Mexican atmospheres. I'm talking Carlos Zarate versus Alfonso Zamora type of shit. Like passionate ass Latin crowd. North of the Mexican border, these days, currently north of the Mexican border, Glendale, Arizona is about as perfect an environment as you could want or imagine to host an event as such. Now, Bam, he'll be a sizable favorite here, but this is a legit chance for El Gallo. Speaking of Mexican legends, this is a legit chance for El Gallo to get his Michael Carbajal versus Jorge Arce moment. That come from behind victory to crossroads with the aging vet versus the young, hot upstart who's just blazing a trail. And Carvajal, he was losing this fight to Arce, but he came from behind and stopped Arce. This is that moment for El Gallo to get one last great name, great notch on his belt, because let's be clear. Let me be clear. You can't talk about lower weight fighters of the last 10 or 15 years, the Chocolatitos, the Sorunk V-Size. You can't talk about those guys without mentioning Juan Francisco Estrada. You can't. He's very much a part of that ilk. And the cherry that waits on top of what's arguably already a Hall of Fame boxing career would be a win. The first loss of Jesse Bam Rodriguez at the hands of El Gallo. That would be quite a feather in his cap. Bam, he's got a daughter due to be born in April and will begin training shortly thereafter for the projected June 29th bout with El Gallo. I've hyped up El Gallo, but I got Bam pretty big here. Wide unanimous decision, or even a late stoppage. He's better than anyone in the lower weights, not named NaoyaInoue, and I'm afraid he'll demonstrate this on an aging Juan Francisco Estrada, a.k.a. El Gallo. REED-BBS, BBS. Blackbird Sugar, Bachelor's in Boxing Studies. Television! Fred Sanford of the Fistic Arts. When all is said and done, there's nothing left to say or do.